The Pod Network Entertainment.
She did a lot of work in the time that she was given. Yung term na sulit bad pumapasok dito because the promo that she cracked, she was able to make it personal. She was able to relate to her hometown crowd. Diba? That's a thing that I actually miss formerly known Sasha Banks on. She is so underrated for her promos, I think. And so seeing her back in a wrestling ring kind of synonymous when I saw Paige or Saraya now back in the ring. Ang tagal niyang nawala.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to him.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey
everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov. This is Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening...
And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Live and alive on a Thursday evening. Welcome to it, folks. This is the longest running weekly episodic Philippine wrestling podcast done by Filipinos for the rest of the world. This is the Wrestling Podcast. We are a podcast of two tonight. No Ro Moran, no Stan C. Instead, no Rowen ASH either. Instead, it's Chino Liao holding things down with Mr. Emile Nate. How's it going, Emile?
Hey, everything's been good. I'm in Laguna right now, just chilling. Ako lang yung nandito sa bahay. That's why I'm doing the podcast in our living room. You know, with this weird camera angle that I have right now.
It looks like you're in a Chase lounge or like a recliner. Sa sarap ng upo mo dyan.
Yes, sir.
But good for you and your new promotion, diba? You get to do big things like big business, which we shall talk about in a bit. Saying what's up to everybody joining us here on the podcast. Before we get to the rest of the agenda tonight, we do have a little housekeeping to take care of, starting with a very, very big viewing party happening. Emile, take over.
All right, so WrestleMania is a few weeks away, and you still have time to buy early bird tickets for our WrestleMania viewing party. We're doing it big. Yung nakalagay nga, WrestleMania XL. So we're doing it extra large on this WrestleMania because we're doing it on two venues at the same time. 2 days, 2 venues, 2 WrestleMania days. So it's at Skinny Mike's, BGC, and Hobby Stadium. So you can still get your early bird tickets at 350 pesos at tinyurl/WrestleMania 40PH. So just a few reminders. So di ibig sabihin na you bought an early bird ticket doesn't mean that we're guaranteeing a seat for you. So you do have to be there very early. So again, the main show starts at 7, but I do recommend you be on the venue as early as maybe 6 or 6:30. So again, the early bird is at 350. We're closing that in before WrestleMania. So if you choose,
April 3rd is the last day you can buy early bird tickets.
So if you choose to walk in though at one of the venues, it's at 450 pesos. So there's the prices. There's the link right down below. And again, no horseplaying. There's this. We have this house rules. Now, if you click the link, you'll be able to read it there. So again, we're gonna have fun. Just please follow the house rules. And again, WrestleMania XL. We're doing it big here. Skinny Mike's, BGC, and Hobby Stadium. It's at on April 7th and April 8th. So again, it's 7 a.m. the start of of the shows. Again, the prices are there below, so the details, just check it out. So if you haven't bought it, tickets, check out the link, and we're gonna have fun.
Also, meron tayong 2-day passes available for both nights. So if you are interested in going to both nights, if you are sure to make both nights, do yourself a favor and get tickets for both. 600 pesos for the 2-night passes. These passes, however, are non-transferable. Meaning if you buy for Skinny Mike's, sa Skinny Mike's lang. If you buy for Hobby Stadium, sa Hobby Stadium lang. Yun lang yung pwede nyong panooran when you buy those 2-day passes. But sulit na sulit siya for 600 pesos. Also available at the site on our little ticker below. Now, viewing parties are not the only things we do here on the Wrestling Podcast. We also do weekly reviews. We also talk to people on our exclusive Discord server. And to get on that, you can join our Patreon, and Emile will tell you more about it.
Yeah, so there's the link right there below. And again, if you want to support the pod and everything that we do here, it's right there. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast. First was $5, so 250 to 260 pesos in our local currency. Again, like Chino said, we write some weekly reviews for the weekly wrestling shows. I think all of us write something now. Raw, SmackDown,
all
Dynamite.
Except for Stan.
Yes,
all except for Stan. Yes.
The AEW weekend shows, SmackDown. So right, andun na yun lahat sa aming Patreon, and you'll get to
even local wrestling.
Yun, yeah, courtesy of Rowen, like Rowen and me. So we just started doing it. Yeah, and also you can join in our Discord where you can get live updates from us, and also talk to us about anything. Just stuff in general that you want to chit chat with. Wrestling, of course, is there, but you can also talk to us about anything else that you like. And also, again, if you are part of our Patreon, we do this thing where this is pasabay, and if you are part of the program, you'll get some preferential rates on the service fees. And again, like I said, if you just want to support everything that we do here in the pod, so you can do that by subscribing and becoming a patron. It's right there below. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast.
Also, we will be concluding our recent run of Pasabays from this recently concluded run, obviously, of Pasabays. If you join the Patreon, you get preferable discounts in terms of service fees that may apply. And speaking of merch, we have also merch to give away during the viewing parties. We have merch care of our friends from Everybody's Toys and Collectibles, as well as Hobby Daisy, who is an avid supporter of the podcast. And if you watch sa Hobby Stadium, you also stand a chance to walk away with some prizes courtesy of Hobby Stadium. So, ang dami nyo pwedeng palanunan sa viewing party. Ang dami nyo din pwedeng makita sa Discord. Pero if you want your everyday weekly wrestling fix here in the Philippines without having to sail the high seas, as our friends like to refer to, then you should get on Blast TV.
All right, yeah. So I'm on Blast TV since it was established. I've been using it. Ro has been using it. We have been promoting it on our pod for months now. So if you haven't gotten into the Blast TV phenomenon, you should. It's free for Converge users. I think for also Globe users, it's free. But if you're not on those providers, it's cheap. It's $179 a month. And also, there's an ongoing promo right now. Now, if you put in the code Setanta 3 months or 3 MOS, there's a free code. You'll get 3 free months of Blast TV. So lahat na yun. If you like, not just the WWE, but also if everything that you like, we got sports there, we got movies, we got everything. So like Ro is saying in the comments, subscribe to Blast TV if you haven't yet. So lahat na yun nandun. So again, if you want to support WWE, if you want to keep WWE, if you want to keep them accessible to you, because it's free, right? It's free for Converge. So you better get on there and you better support the platform, because if it wasn't for them, we will still be watching our weekly shows on the high seas, as they say. So There.
Last TV, only 189 pesos. For non-converged subscribers, only 20
still a steal,
pesos.
right?
Still a steal.
Still a steal.
Still only 20 pesos more expensive than a Viva Max subscription, guys. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. But now that we've gotten all those things out of the way, we shall jump right into the big business of the week. Babyface pod manager. Jasper, bring up the first slide. Yan. Mercedes Mone is all elite. Mercedes Mone made her debut in big business in Boston on Dynamite this week. Brand new music, brand new entrance. She cracked the promo. She teased the feud. Did a lot of work in the 20 minutes or so that we saw her on TV. So, Emile, what you think about the newly debuted CEO of AEW?
Yun. So the worst kept secret in wrestling has been finally revealed. We knew this. Alam na natin na this was gonna happen for, I think, the start of the year. So ever since I was reported na she is signing with AEW, and it finally happened. And it was the perfect debut. Like, they didn't overdo it. It was just the right amount. I think they copied off the CM Punk template of debuting someone new. Like, they didn't wait for it. They made the reveal at the start of the show kasi doon nakatutok yung mga tao eh. So they did it at the time where everyone's tuning in, and the theme song is awesome. Like, medyo katulog siya nung nung dating theme song ni Gunter, which people talked about it online. And she got a promo. She thanked everyone, and that's it. There was no need for it to be longer. There was no need for it to be unnecessary. And ramdam mo agad yung effect ni Mercedes Mone on the show, because they had the women main event so that they could again introduce her to the fold, introduce a program, the first program that she's going to be in against probably the House of Black pairing of Julia Hart and Sky Blue. So it was a perfect first night for Mercedes, in my opinion.
She did a lot of work in the time that she was given. Yung term na sulit bayad pumapasok dito, because the promo that she cracked, she was able to make it personal. She was able to relate to her hometown crowd. Diba? That's a thing that I actually miss the formerly known Sasha Banks on TV, because she is so underrated for her promos, I think. And so seeing her back in a wrestling ring, kind of synonymous when I saw Paige or Saraya now back in the ring. Ang tagal niyang nawala. We've all forgotten about Mercedes Mone, and then all of a sudden, there's this big announcement na hindi natin alam kung nakatulong ba or hindi. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that she's back on TV. My one gripe with it, though, is that she calls herself a CEO now. And I don't know if it's just me, pero parang katunog niya yung mga nagsasabing CEO of ganito sa TikTok. You know what I mean? CEO of baby pictures, diba? CEO, diba? What are you exactly a CEO of, right? Like, of ass kicking, of hair dye? I would have preferred another moniker, but that's just my weird nitpick about it. But all in all, solid job from the formerly known Sasha Banks. Ang galing.
Yun din naman yung moniker niya after she left. She was really the CEO. Pero ngayon, it was put front and center with the theme song and the people chanting CEO. So again, it's kind of weird, but that's the alternative to the boss character. Kasi nga, di ba, the boss siya dati. So what's the other term for a boss? So CEO. And so Bruce is right.
Actually, I tried to think of a solution to the problem. Wala eh, parang CEO talaga yung pasok kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng the chief, because that's too close to Roman Reigns. Diba? Hindi naman din pwedeng manager kasi parang hindi naman din, like, it's not like at the same level as boss, you know? So it's a conundrum that I wish they thought a way around. But I mean, CEO is what works. CEO is catchy. Pasok siya dun sa theme song. So I guess that's what we're sticking in with now. Now, you teased you referred to the rivalry with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Are there other people on the AEW roster you're excited to see Mercedes Moné mix things up with?
I mean, for me personally, I would be excited if she's gonna go up against probably Jamie Hayter. I've been waiting for her to come back ever since last year. So Jamie Hayter, I would love to see her go up against Tony Storm. Pero I get na, that is a big time matchup. That's why parang they are saving their time for it. Like she's gonna go up against everyone first until such a time that she's ready enough to challenge for the women's world championship. So again, a lot of talented women on the roster. Na I'm excited to see them go up against Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I think as much as possible they should try and keep Mercedes away from the title for now, because that will avoid them homogenizing the women's division. By that I mean taking up two slots for just Mercedes Moné. Kasi Mercedes Moné na nga siya, tapos champion pa siya. So
Yeah.
it kind of limits the opportunity for everybody else. That said, I wouldn't mind seeing Mercedes Moné go up against Britt Baker. I think both of them have undergone serious transformations outside of the known entities that they were a part of, and si Britt Baker has been able to evolve past her doctor character a little bit more. Mas charismatic na siya ngayon. So I want that charisma to go up against Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, and again, a lot of talented people for her to work with, and I do expect na she's probably gonna main event pay per view this year. Kasi she's a big name, and I think she's like the major player in AEW, not just in the women's division, but all in the entire scope of the product. So TK, this was a big fish for him, and I expect Mercedes to not just be a part, not just to be a vital part of the women's division, but also become a vital part of AEW in general, like main eventing pay per views, main eventing shows. You know, I wish this could be the thing na magtagal na nilang hinahanap, which is someone who is gonna lift the women's division. But TK, he also has to do his due diligence of booking the women's division. That's why I also like na she's not slating her against women's title, because that is such a TK thing to do. If you notice the debuts in the last couple of years na pagkasalang nila, they're gonna challenge again for the women's championship, and they're gonna lose, and then they're gonna go back to having random matches. So right now, after this episode, TK is doing right by Mercedes.
Yes, sir. And that's all we have to talk about for Mercedes Moné. Before we move on to our other points of interest on this week's Wrestling Talk, let's take a quick break and hear from our other podcast on the Pod Network.
Hi, guys. We are the Eavesdrop Podcast. My name is Francesca.
My name is Jelly.
This is Delamar.
This is Jude. What's up?
Yeah, and we are inviting you to check us out, your fellow TPN podcast.
And if you want to learn more about life, what's happening around us, you want to know about love, healing, this is the podcast you should be listening to.
Eavesdrop, 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 eavesdrop. Sometimes we get drunk and do the show. Those are the fun ones.
Like today.
Ooh, why? Who's drunk?
Like right now.
You're red as a bug.
Am I? Eavesdrop, please catch it. 4 hosts going crazy. You'll have fun. You'll cry. Everything else. So please check it out. The Eavesdrop.
Only on the Pod Network.
All right. Back on the stream again, Chino Liao and Emile Nate joining you as we move down the list of things here that happen in the world of wrestling. And unfortunately, we have gotten to some very unfortunate updates with regards to Vince McMahon, the sex trafficking scandal he's involved with, and more people that have been implicated, according to Front Office Sports in a recently released article, they have discovered that Nick Khan, COO rather, CEO si Mercedes Mone, but COO Brad Bloom and Stephanie McMahon have been implicated in the ongoing lawsuit against Vince McMahon with regards to Janice. Is it Janice Grant? Janet Grant? Janelle Grant.
Yan.
Yeah, Janelle Grant and the sex trafficking scandal that they are all.
Do you feel lost,
it's very unfortunate,
doubting yourself,
not surprising,
and tired?
To discover
You question your worth and existence? Well, I'm here for you. Hey, this is Gailey Chavez, and I'm the host of Free Yourself Podcast. My podcast talks about self-love, self-discovery, and growth. This is for everyone who wants to live their fullest life and become the person that they could be. Let me help out and remind you that this is your life, your path, that you are not broken, and you are worth it. Catch me every Friday at 8 p.m. See ya!
And said that she was going to take a leave of absence. So now that we know na may ganitong nangyayari in the offices in Connecticut, I can't help but think na may kinalaman din to sa nangyayari kay Stephanie and her stepping down. What do you think, Emile?
Again, maybe not. Like they were named, but again, we have to be clear here. They are not accused of sexual misconduct, but they were named because sila yung there were these unnamed people dun sa lawsuit. So it was revealed na they were the corporate officers. Again, it's unfortunate, but also kind of not surprising kasi they are the people in power when all of this was happening, diba? Nick Khan came into the fold around the same time, and Stephanie McMahon has been there her entire adult life, except for that time until that time that she stepped down. If you connect the dots, maybe it kind of makes sense. But again, this thing is so far from over. Like, we're just, I think, at the beginning of this. Like, a lot of people are still going to be named. A lot of people are still going to be implied in this. So I think it's good that there's some progress happening. The lawsuit was revealed and Vince McMahon was implicated, and then tapos na. So this is still an ongoing, I think, federal na to eh. So this is an ongoing federal investigation na, again, still far from over. But again, no surprise na sila yung pinangalanan. But again, may kasabihan tayo na all is proven innocent until guilty.
All are innocent until proven guilty.
Innocent until proven guilty.
That is what he was trying to say. Again, more details coming from Front Office Sports in their article. Tulad nga sinabi ni Emile, they were not accused of sexual misconduct. Nick Khan, Brad Bloom, and Stephanie McMahon are not accused of sexual misconduct. They were, however, aware of the mysterious hiring of Janelle Grant because she was hired under an undisclosed position, supposedly for the legal department, which Nick Khan was handling at the time. Hindi nila alam kung ano yung position na yun, but she was hired during Nick Khan's time in office. And Khan and Bloom have also denied the allegations, saying they were not privy to whatever was going on at the time and will defend themselves in court. Kasi obviously gagawin talaga nila yun. Parang malinis sila, diba? They're not gonna admit to it. But again, they were in power. Sobrang imposible na hindi nila alam yung nangyayari, especially with Vince just behind the scenes there.
Yep. So again, far from over, and this a lot is still going to be discovered with this. This is something that will take, I think, months or even years before everything can be revealed.
Yeah,
and, justice can be served to whoever is deserving to get justice, diba?
And that does it for the first half of our wrestling talk from this week. Want to hear more from the Wrestling Podcast? Well, you gotta stay tuned, you guys. We're dropping the second half of the live stream in a few. But for now, this has been Chino Liao for my co-host, Rowen, Stan C, Emile Nate, and Rowen ASH. This has been the Wrestling Podcast, powered, of course, by the Pod Network. Stay tuned for the second half, guys. Peace.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.